Marvin the Italian Dream Vettori is one angry man who has amassed a 5-win streak in the middleweight division. The last time he lost was against the stylebender, Israel Adesanya, via split decision. Marvin is looking to avenge his loss to Izzy, who is the current champion in the division. But what has changed in the last 3 years since the first two fought? Marvin would tell you that he was robbed by the judges on that night, and he will beat Izzy once and for all on June 12th. I, for one, am listening to Marvin very closely, especially on the later half. I think he can win this matchup by following the blueprint set for him. Before we go any further, make sure to like and comment on the video. If you want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. To better review how Marvin wins this fight, we have to look at what Marvin excels at. He is super durable, who uses pressure to keep his opponents on their back foot, and uses his grappling when openings present themselves. On paper, this is what you would need to beat Izzy on any given day. How? There are two key factors. 1. Izzy has a kickboxing base, and his grappling game is mainly aimed at preventing takedowns and separating. Let's look at some instances in the first matchup, where it demonstrates how Izzy deals with grappling. Yes, Izzy has excelled in grappling departments since the first fight, but Izzy still uses these techniques to avoid getting taken down. Vettori's takedown approach in the first and beginning of the second was to close the distance and go for an under and over hook, and use an inside leg trip. To stop this from happening, Izzy put his back to the cage and rotated off so he'll be able to break free. Izzy's defensive game is heavily reliant on getting his back against the cage. This is an approach that other fighters use as well, because it provides them with leverage to lean against, and it forces the opponent to exert more energy. That being said, there are fighters who actually use the cage offensively, like Khabib, but that's Khabib. So how does Marvin get around this defense? Well, he can do it the same way he did in the first fight: open cage takedown attempts. Izzy is able to sprawl very quickly, but depending on the distance between the two fighters and Marvin's willingness to chase the takedown, Izzy can get taken down and be in deep water if he is unable to get his back to the cage. 2. The second reason why Marvin beats Izzy on paper is because a similar type fighter has beat Izzy before. Jan Blachowicz has set the blueprint on how to beat Izzy. Yes, that was at a higher weight class, and Marvin might have similarities to Jan, however, he isn't Jan. For example, they both react to a lot of feints. They both don't have the fastest hands, but they have crisp boxing. They control the center of the octagon, and they excel at taking down their opponents. Marvin throws at a very high volume, but he pressures his opponents constantly. He averages 4.78 significant strikes landed compared to Izzy, who lands 3.95 per minute. Izzy is more accurate, but this is a reflection of their two styles. Let's look at where Marvin can win in the stand-up game. Body kicks and leg kicks were a target for Marvin in the first fight. Izzy will eat a lot of leg kicks and body kicks simply because he is too close to his opponent. It's also because Izzy has a focus on limiting strikes to his head landing. So the way that Izzy defends a lot of his kicks, especially to the body or to the head, is that he has his guard up so he can see which leg is coming for him. So say hypothetically the person is throwing a left high kick is mainly because he wants to block the high kick if it comes, but also have something to guard his body. It also lets him scoop up and grab the other person's leg. He does that constantly. If you can see during these images right now that are playing, he grabs the person's leg, but that doesn't really take away a lot of the blunt of the damage, especially if it goes to the body. He's still taking it to the body, the kick to the body, but also he's taking a lot on his arm too, which he doesn't have the biggest forearm, so maybe that's probably not the best way to guard it, but it's the most conservative. In less than a minute, Marvin throws 2 head kicks and Izzy dodges them the same way, but his base is in the same place, which leaves his body wide open for body strikes or takedowns. So in the second instance, so the second clip, round 2, clock 3:08, you see Marvin throws another high kick. Well, this is the second one that he throws in a row. If Marvin actually used this as a feint rather than actually trying to throw and land onto Izzy, he could have replanted his foot and thrown a right hook. Why would he do that? Well, because Izzy is already anticipating that kick coming for his head and he's leaning back. What does that do is it kind of freezes Izzy in that position and allows Marvin to go in and close that distance. But Marvin instead tries to go for his head, which I don't blame him. I get why he might have done that in the moment. He would just, you just threw your first kick and Izzy did the Matrix on you and completely made you miss. So why not try it again and make him pay for what he did? But from hindsight's perspective, I think he had an opportunity to actually feint and then come over with a overhand or a right hook. Marvin can't continue to blitz or chase to hit Izzy's head. Multiple times in the fight, we can see Marvin try to land on Izzy in the same sequence, but it results in Marvin getting countered. Marvin has been training at King's MMA for a while now, and one of the things that the coaches there that he focused on, Rafael Cordero, is very focus on fundamentals, right? Having crisp boxing and using a lot of foot movement. Now, Marvin doesn't have many knockouts or knockdowns. He's only had one in his recent win streak, and that was against Jack Hermanson. But he has a very quick 1-2. Now, does this necessarily result in a knockout against Izzy? I don't think so. I think there's a chance to knock down Izzy, maybe catch him off guard, but that's not Marvin's style. Marvin is there to overwhelm you and just to make you quit. And by the end of the 5th round, he's the one that's winning on the scorecards. That's how he's gonna win this fight. I honestly don't think he has enough power to finish Izzy in this fight. Stranger things have happened. Honestly, stranger things have happened. But he has an opportunity to overwhelm Izzy, crowd him, grapple him on the ground, and actually win the title and surprise a lot of people.
Do you think that Israel would take that fight with you, or do you think he's going to make you keep fighting other guys before he says yes?
Israel is full of shit. Like he was like, oh, I don't think I will ever see Marvin again. Like, he will never make it to the title. Guess what, motherfucker, I'm here. So he thinks he has it all figured out. He got nothing figured out. I know his true colors. I know his true colors. I met him a few times. I fought him. I know his true colors. I won that fight.
Obviously, thank you for watching the video. If you like videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Is Marvin going to win this fight, or will Israel Adesanya go on to win the title again?